a few questions for you.
Okay. Computer.
Oh, have you started recording? Can you crop it whenever you need to?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not right here. Oh, this will be included.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Okay.
How have you been anyway? Have you been good?
Yeah, I've been good. How are you?
Yeah, good. You had a question about glasses. Maybe I should bring my glasses and show you mine as well.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
I got some Michael Kors ones. Let me just go and get them. I've got my lenses in at the moment.
Hello. Hi, Rabia.
Um,
Okay, so this is entirely just a conversation, right?
yeah.
This is the Between Two Bass. This is Rabia Nawaz, our amazing bass administrator, the beauty behind the name. And thank you for joining me. And I have some really sort of important questions. I think questions that all our students will be interested in hearing your thoughts on. So I've put some questions together, and I'm certain that if you need a moment, that's absolutely fine. Take your time.
They're not too difficult.
The first question, Rabia, how come you're so lovely?
Okay. Is that the first question?
That is the first
Okay.
question. It's you're profoundly lovely. How come?
Okay, so, well, what can I say? This is just me. No, I think it's quite important to have a positive attitude when meeting people, when meeting students, especially we have students coming onto our degree at the University of Manchester from different parts of the world, from all over the UK as well. So I feel like it's very important to make them feel welcome, to have that positive attitude towards students. And yeah, this is just who I am. I try my best to be as lenient as I can with students and not too strict. Yeah, because I don't think I've shown my strict side yet, but I don't know if I have one actually.
I'm not sure you have one. Oh, you must have one. You should have one. Can you show it? I'd like to see it. I just like to watch. From the sideline.
um, but yeah, no, I've not. But I think it's very important to have that kind of impression on students, especially. So yeah, this is just it's just how I
It's just the way you are. It's a gift.
am.
Excellent. Thank you. And
I can actually say the same about you because you've we've worked together.
well, yes, no. But you are profoundly lovely. So I think that's why I really wanted to know how come.
Thank
How
you.
so? So what is your favorite part of the job?
Well, I've been in this role for 4.5 years now. I started in March 2017, and I think well, one lot of when I first started, obviously we had first, second, and third year, and some third years I didn't really meet that much. But then the following year, when first year started, and then it's like you're on a journey with them throughout their 3 years, and then when you see them. We have a lot of students who struggle as well coming to the university. We have a lot of students who do well, some don't do well. They need extra help and extra support. But then when you see them at the end of their 3 years, when they finally graduated, they've got the degree that they wanted, the grades that they wanted, I think it feels really good. Because you know that you've been there throughout, you know that you've helped them as much as you can. And I think, yeah, it just feels really good. And students, of course, appreciate it as well. So yeah, it's just a good feeling. And I think that's what we're here for, to help students, to give them the support that they need, whether that's just something like as small as an extension, or whether it's something else, anything related to mitigating circumstances or anything actually. And I feel like, or if I can't deal with it myself, I'll put them to somebody who can help them better. So yeah, I think the best feeling and the best part is when you see them do so well, and at the end of the 3 years when they've got that degree, I think it feels really good. So yeah, I think that student success that you get in the end, I think that's quite good
Yeah.
to see.
I mean, it's really impressive what you managed to do for the students, right? So it's pastoral role, it's a signposting role, it's a massive administrative role. I mean,
Mhm.
you've got sort of hundreds of emails in your inbox every day,
Yeah.
and you're kind of fielding these emails, these requests, these calls for help. Um, so I mean, it's such an impressive thing that you do, in terms of like levels of organizational capability. Um, and it's admirable. It's quite admirable. And of course, you were recognized with an award, weren't you, very
I was,
recently?
yeah, yeah,
Because you're so good at it.
yeah. I must be doing something right in my job.
You are. You're
And-
doing everything right and effectively and so powerfully. And I think that's really important. And it kind of leads on to my next question is, how do you keep all this information in your head? So that's a lot of information. Do you end up forgetting other things? Like, do other things get pushed out, like what your telephone number is or your birthday?
um, I'm quite an organized person myself. I haven't actually been diagnosed with OCD, but my family thinks I have. But I am like a very organized person myself. I try to make sure, of course, working in this role. I've only been here, like I said, 4.5 years, but it seems like I've been here longer than that. The amount of information, the working at university, it's like a cycle from September to July, and then it starts again with the Welcome Week prep in August. So I feel like you do it 1 year, and then you know what to expect the following years. Um, and in terms of like managing emails and things, at one point I had loads of emails, 800 plus emails, but I managed to get through. It took me a while, but I managed to get through. And I feel like now I've got support. We've got Paige, who's the BAS assistant, and she's a huge support. So I really appreciate that help from her. And I feel like, you just have to keep on top of it. You know, because students, although sometimes they might be on leave, well, I might be on leave, but now we've got somebody to cover for me when I am on leave. So working in this role and working in this kind of student support role, it's very important to keep student as a priority, because we don't know at what point they will need help. So I try to get my responses out within 24 hours. If not, it might take me a bit longer depending on how many emails I have, because we have busy periods throughout the year. So yeah, so I try my best to do what I can, and try and help as much as I can.
You certainly do. And I mean, that leads me on to what I was going to ask next, which of course isn't as much of a silly question as they have been. But you have faced, and we've all faced a lot of challenges this year in terms of working remotely, in terms of the amount of new material that we have to work with and navigate, at administrative, teaching and learning levels. And so I was just thinking, you know considering this year as well as previous years before, the pandemic and remote working, what is what do you feel is your biggest challenge, that you face in your role, and is it different from what you've experienced this year? Do you have a new biggest challenge this year, is what I mean? Does that make sense?
I think challenging. I don't know. I think well, the thing is, every student case is different. We have a lot of students. We have nearly 400 students on the degree, and across the 3 years. And I feel like um, every student case is different. So when it comes to extensions, or whether it comes to any other support that students need, and I feel like I want to help students as much as I can, but then it might come to a point where I've done everything I can from my side, um, and then it has to go. It's beyond my level, and it has to go to the next level now. So I think that the thing that I find most challenging is when I constantly contact students, and I don't hear back from them. I think that's quite, just to hear back from them, to see that they're doing okay, to know that, they're well. And I try to stay in touch as much as I can. And of course, it has been quite difficult this year because we've not been able to meet students face to face, and it's all been on Zoom since March last year, actually. So I think that was another challenge, because sometimes students prefer to speak to administrators face to face, because it's not very easy to communicate over email. So I think, yeah, having them communications on Zoom, although we are grateful for Zoom because, I prefer Zoom over Teams anyway.
Oh, by a mile.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've had that, but I hope things are better next year when we can actually meet students face to face. I think it's been quite difficult for first years as well, because they've not met each other, they've not met staff, they've not met myself. So it's quite difficult for them as well. So hopefully when they're in year 2 and when year 1 start in September, we'll be able to have more face-to-face contact.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Touch wood, made of wood. Absolutely. Well, that actually, I mean, it's true. I mean, it's been really difficult trying to identify opportunities in a lot of the challenges and disappointments this year has brought for us all. But do you think there are any advantages, or do you think there's anything that we could keep, that we've learned or that we've started doing in remote learning that actually is better than the way things were done before? Or, and what would you like to get rid of altogether? I mean, obviously you want to see each other face to face.
Well, I think a lot of students, well, I've heard from some students this year that they want to continue with the online learning, and they've actually preferred the online learning because the students who live abroad, they are having that time with their family rather than living on their own in Manchester. They are spending that time with their family as well as learning online. They have got that time with them as well, so they've got people around them, which can be quite difficult for students when they come to a completely new city. Then it's quite, everything is new for them, so it might take them a while to adapt. So I think for some students, online learning has worked, and for others, they would prefer some face-to-face contact. But for myself, I would prefer to come into the office. I have actually started to come into the office like 1 or 2 days a week, because it just gets me out of the house a bit. Yeah, and I feel like I get a lot more work done in the office than I do at home anyway. So yeah, I prefer coming into the office just 2 days a week, and you get a bit of that travel, traveling, because I live in Rochdale, so it's like coming from Rochdale to Manchester. You get, I travel on the train. So yeah, and the weather's been good as well, so
yeah,
it has been, yeah,
nice for traveling. It has been nice. It's been beautiful outside actually today.
Yeah, it's lovely today.
Yeah, it's been remarkable difference from the last few days. But speaking of that, because you are quite beautiful, do you ever find yourself staring at yourself while other people are talking on Zoom?
Okay. Okay, so now you're making me blush. But I think because you're so lovely yourself, I think you see beauty in everything. So yeah, we'll just leave it there.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. That was an unfair question, but true. You don't have to tell us. I mean, if you are like me, you wear business on the top, party on the bottom, which is sort of pajamas. Do you do that?
Well, mainly at home, I'm usually in my Pakistani wear, so my Pakistani clothing. So yeah, I haven't worn my work attire for over a year now. Well, now I've recently started to go back into work, but yeah, I've not worn it for a year. But yeah.
Oh, and
As long as you look presentable, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you're not in your slippers, which I almost
Yeah.
when I was living in the house, I was still in the slippers. I don't fit into most of my clothes anymore. I mean, being immobile, in the same place and eating junk food rapidly while trying to get things done has not been good for the waist.
It hasn't. No, it hasn't.
But so that's interesting. I mean, I think do you think what do you think is the most important thing or things that students should know about the admin side of the BAS program?
I think some students, when it comes to like responding to emails or getting back to them with their queries, they want a response like pretty much straight away. So I think one thing is that I think students should know that we try to get back to them within 24 hours. Now it's quicker responses because I've got, you know, extra help with Paige. But yeah, I think it's just trying to get a response to them as soon as possible. I feel like sometimes students get a bit frustrated that they've not heard back from me, or you know, they might start emailing other departments, or you know, like Amanda, or you know. So I think and then it kind of makes me feel bad because I'm thinking I'm trying to get through everybody as quickly as I can. But if I haven't been able to, so yeah, I apologize in advance. I'll try to respond as quickly as I can. We've got the shared inbox now, so whenever students email in there, they'll get a much quicker reply.
I think that's the trouble, is that they don't see behind the scenes. They just,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's you know, it's expected that when you email, maybe you'll hear from them, you know, but it's not immediate. It can't be immediate because
Yeah.
there's literally hundreds and hundreds of these emails that you're getting. And I remember in registration and time of registration, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it was a nightmare. I mean, it wasn't a nightmare because of the questions, it was the amount. And I
Yeah.
just felt so sorry for you.
And at that time I was on my own, actually.
Yes, without pay.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was intense.
Um,
Oh, I wanted to ask you this question. Where did you work before you came to Manchester University?
So this is my third job in Manchester University. Before this, I was working at the admissions office in the School of Law. But I didn't enjoy it as much because I didn't have that face-to-face contact with students. Because before that, I was working in the business school when it was the old business school near the Aquatic Centre. I worked there as a program assistant. So I started off my contract as a temporary contract as a program assistant. Then eventually I became permanent. But before this, I've worked in Lloyds Bank for a year and a half. And I've worked in Barclays for a year. I actually didn't go to university myself. I did an apprenticeship in business management. So I worked in a company in Rochdale where I did my apprenticeship. And that was a interpreting company. So it was where we used to send interpreters for bookings all over the UK, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did that for 3 years, and then I went to work in Barclays and then Lloyds, and then I started off my role at the University of Manchester as a temporary contract through an agency. It was just like a 1-week rolling contract, and then eventually, you know, I became permanent. But yeah, so now I'm in this role. I'm enjoying it, of course. You know, I think once you have that student-facing role, you can't go back into a role where you just sit and do applications all day, or you know, you just sit and look at a computer screen all day, because in this job, you know, you meet so many different people.
Yeah.
You speak to so many different people on the phone, via email, you know, face to face. So I think that's something that I do enjoy in this role as well, because you see so many different students, and even like, you know, when your team is really good, and then yeah, it really helps. And of course, we've got an amazing program director as well.
Well, that was my next question. Who was your favorite program director?
I hope Sean's not watching. I hope Sean doesn't watch.
I'm giving you the eye.
Well, I've had 2 whilst I've been in this role. So I had Sean and I had yourself, but I think I've worked more with you. And of course, Sean has been amazing, you know, great. Yeah, Sean Crawford from philosophy, he's great. And of course, you're not going to be here for semester 1, but yeah, I look forward to working with you in semester 2 when you're back, if I'm still here as well. No, I'm just saying.
No, don't say that. Made my heart skip a beat then.
Yeah, no, of course we'll meet again in semester 2, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackie Carter's taking over as
Yes,
the class director for semester 1, and then she'll then I'll be joining again in semester 2. That's good. Well, good, nice diplomatic answer. That's very good, very balanced. And then I have 2 more questions for you, Rabia. Do you have any more of those cupcakes that your sister made? Because she made 9 before, and I've eaten all 9.
It was actually 12.
Was it 12?
So I think 12? You enjoyed them so much.
Oh, I lied to myself.
I think you enjoyed them so much you lost count.
I just did 2 at a time at some point or another.
Yeah, whenever we meet next.
Good. That's in the diary.
Whenever we meet next, of course.
Good. That's marked.
Did you not share them with anyone then? Your girls or your husband?
No, although they wanted some.
All right. Well, they did have your name on them, so.
Well, quite. That's what I told them. I think I gave one of them a strawberry. I thought I was like,
this is the most you're having.
Yeah, and then I had one more question, which is let's see. Do you need me to do anything for BAS today?
Oh, today?
Yeah. Should we talk after this?
I think not today. I will let you know though.
That's going into the calendar.
But no, we are meeting obviously on the 20th as well. And for the exam board. But yeah, I'll let you know if there's anything. But you know, honestly, you've been great help. You know, I really, really appreciate all the help that you give. And whenever I get in touch with you about a student, you know, you meet with them, you see them, and anything that I can't help with, you help them. So I truly, truly appreciate that.
Oh no, I think we're a great team, Rabia. I
definitely
thoroughly enjoy working with you. I find it so much fun, and I really enjoy it. So thank you. And thank you for all you do for the students. It's amazing. It's genuinely amazing that you hold this program together so well and so effectively for everybody. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I just try to do as best as I can, and of course, help as much as I can.
Absolutely. And yes, we're all very grateful. And that's why you get awards, Rabia.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to stop recording now.
Thank you for having me.